All right. Good morning. Happy Thursday, everyone. Welcome to the Associated Guest. I'm your host, Alfie Animus, here at the Bear in Mind channel. Today, Vera goes into Borderlands 4 sold like shit. What do we got? Politico's Young Republicans hit piece, and a bunch of leaked text messages there. And possibly we'll finally get to that Assassin's Creed boss quitting story. There's more to it. Apparently, no one cares, and everyone thinks it's hilarious. But let's get going with Miss Vera Dark here.
Randy Pitchford really expected Borderlands 4 to be a massive release, and it certainly hasn't been. It has faced so many controversies before and after release, and now it looks like they are being raked across the coals by gamers yet again because it is on sale after only a month, as it is still trailing behind Borderlands 3. I have a
It's not doing as bad as Veilguard, Dragon Age Veilguard, but it's doing pretty bad. Anything that gets discounted this early, unless it's part of the launch or some special deal worked out with one of the platforms, it's not a good sign. If it goes on, if it's given away for free by Epic Games, or if it's put on the either PlayStation Now or the Xbox's Xbox Live Game Pass within the next few months, then we'll know it's a dud, just like Dragon Age Veilguard.
a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, this game has already gone through so many problems. Randy Pitchford saying if you're a real fan, you'll find a way to spend more money on this title at release.
Yeah, that's not something to say. That's very much akin to Pokimane saying, "Are you a broke boy? Send me money," and then a few weeks later saying that we should eat the rich. No, not the millionaires like me, the billionaires.
It had a lot of technical difficulties, and now a month later, not only has it already lost a major amount of players, but it's already on sale. So this is a Forbes article that I'll start off with. It says, as of this week, Borderlands 4 is on sale on Steam in many regions, 20% off, down from $70 to $56, which you might be saying to yourself, isn't the biggest discount ever. But when you are talking about a triple A release, having to wait 30 days is definitely worth not buying games at launch anymore. Because if you are going to insult the players who decided to invest in your experience, that is absolutely going to lose you customers in the future and lose you respect. And I understand all games eventually.
And in any case like this, and yes, as gamers, we have been spoiled as far as price goes for a very long time, because in the 90s, anytime there was anything special or spectacular about a game, or even just because they felt like it, most games, yes, were like $50, I believe, in the 90s, if memory serves me correctly. It probably doesn't. But then every now and then you would have like a Donkey Kong Country, or something that was like Star Fox, or hell, even Earthbound, I think, was ridiculously expensive when it came out. Anything that had the Nintendo 64, the expansion pack that you had to buy separately and install, anything that had an extra chip in the cartridge itself, these were all more expensive games. So we have become very spoiled as gamers. But at the same time, when you're used to something for so long, $60 game, $60 game, $60 game, for what, 10, 15 years, we've been consistent at $60, and that was part of the whole reason that we switched to CDs in the first place. And everyone knew Nintendo would be first because they use cartridges, and Nintendo loves to make money, if even anything. But at the same time, if you're going to up your games and you're one of the first people to do so, you have to be very, and I know a lot of Republicans hate hearing this word, but I don't care. You have to be empathetic, and you have to be compassionate. You can't, yes, I would like many viewers, but no thank you. But I appreciate the engagement. You have to be, like, Talk about how much you put into the game. Talk about how you did it for the gamers. Talk about just milk up and butter up your fan base. Make sure you actually do the things that you're saying, but make sure that the gamers know that you're doing it for them and you put all this in there because you wanted to make this game special for them. Hire me for your fucking marketing. Stop letting Randy Pitchford say anything. The guy's a retard. Oh,
actually go on sale, but you could at least wait 2, maybe 3 months. But of course, we're nearing the holidays. They want to sell as many copies as possible, and they don't care if people feel a little bit insulted because it means more money in their pockets.
does it though?
It says players have noted that
Because yes, you are making more money, but at the same time, you're definitely going to sell less copies. So you have to balance the amount of sales that you'll lose just based off the price alone, not based off anything you've said. So, okay, $10 per cartridge or per disc or per copy. Offset that with the amount of games that we'll still probably have to sell, blah, 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 blah. You get those numbers. And you don't go out there and basically imply or say outright that your fans will buy the game or they're a bunch of broke bitches.
this is just a month after launch, and it seems to contradict something Gearbox head Randy Pitchford said about BL4 not going on sale for a long time, which is absolutely hilarious that he speaks and the opposite comes true. He said, oh, if you're a real fan, you'll find a way to spend more money on this game. And what happened? Less people than anticipated bought it. Now you have him, of course.
And honestly, it was as cringe as, do you remember that when one of the original creators of Mega Man came back and wanted to create, I think, was it Mighty Number 9? And the commercial was the most condescending shit ever. Like, all the worst bits of, like, you're not a girly man, are you? You're going to buy this game. That's basically what Randy Pitchford's been. And it doesn't work. I mean, if you do it the right way, if you hire a comedian to word it for you or anything, fuck, get J.K. Rowling to do it. She's good at making people clap for her ripping people apart. But, yeah.
Looking like
I
an
say butt on a
idiot
lot, don't
because he said, oh, it's not going to go on sale for a very, very long time. But now that it's not selling, right, it has to go on sale,
Yep.
meaning he looks like a buffoon. And I get that there's a team of people behind a game this big that make these decisions. But at the same time, he shouldn't make promises that most likely can't be kept. So it says this would all seem to reinforce to some degree the idea that Borderlands 4 is underperforming Borderlands 3. We had data before this that said, 1, Borderlands 3 sold 5 million copies in 5 days.
Yep.
This was while being an Epic Games Store PC exclusive. 2, Borderlands 4 had 2.5 million players across all platforms, including Steam, in its first week. 3, the budget for Borderlands 4 is more than double that of Borderlands 3, according to Pitchford himself. This was back when he was criticized for implying that the game might cost $80. It, of course, ended up costing $70. He said Borderlands 4 has more than twice the development budget than Borderlands 3, more than twice, and that may put it somewhere around $300 million. If so, and to top all of that off, we do know that now, only a month later, the player counts have drastically declined. This game has already lost.
I gotta say, if it's not going towards quality, stop spending this much money on anything. On movies, on video games, on any kind of entertainment. If you can't put it towards quality and it's going to your own pocketbook or Sweet Baby or any stupid investment firm or anything beyond the scope of the video game itself, stop putting this much money into these things. Seriously. It's kind of ridiculous, especially when you have someone who's as inept as Randy Pitchford leading the marketing campaign. For the love of God, don't let that man speak. Pretend he's got laryngitis. Act like he was in a horrible accident and he can no longer speak.
lost about 85% of its Steam players 1 month after release. And of course, it is a single player experience, so this was always bound to happen. People get through the campaign, they do some endgame, then they drop the title until they put out a major wave of DLC. But at the same time, when you are talking about the game already going on sale, it not making its money back, the player counts drastically declining, and all of the backlash that they faced, I'm curious to see if they will set this game and forget it, because if they don't make back the development costs, never mind start making a profit, there's no way that they're going to keep people around and on the payroll in order to make more content going forward. Like, that's just not going to be a financially feasible option. So we don't even know if really all of those plans that we assume they had in the first place are even going to happen now. It says the point is that Borderlands 4 has a steep hill to climb, and perhaps a significant one, if it's underperforming Borderlands 3. And close to release, we had heard that this was the case. The Borderlands 4 sales report suggests it's selling slower than Borderlands 3, and I think that there is...
And speaking of Borderlands 3, looking at Steam now, I'm doing it on my phone instead of the computer, but Borderlands 3 is also on sale for 90% off. So it's on sale for, what's it, $5, $6? My phone lock. Yeah, $6. Borderlands 2 on sale. It's normally $20. It's on sale for $5. And then Borderlands 3 is on sale. It's normally $60. Is now on sale for $6. So things not going particularly well. They're trying to find as many players as they can.
Is one major reason why it would be, and that's that Borderlands 3 really killed the franchise for a lot of people. And so there were a lot of gamers who decided, I'm not going to support Borderlands 4 until it's on a deep discount, or my favorite content creators review it and say that it's absolutely amazing. But of course that didn't happen. Though Borderlands 3 was a game that was extremely hyped up, and it wasn't until after release that people realized they weren't a big fan of the direction they were taking the series in, and then they had vowed to themselves, I'm not going to buy the next game. So I think that with Borderlands 3, a lot more people were in line and did ultimately support it, but with BL4, a lot of people withheld their funds. They decided not to swipe their credit card, and well, that's good for gamers that so many people held their ground and said, nope, I'm not going to support this at release. But they were trying, of course, to say closer to the release of 4 a month ago that, oh, you know, it's going to take time, but it'll be fine in the end, which doesn't look like that's going to be the case. Going back to the Forbes article, though, it says Borderlands 4 is already on sale, 20% off in all countries. Offer lasts until October 20th. Most probably a push to get more players in before Horrors of Kairos and Bounty Pack 1. And yep, it shows the entire list. And as for this other Randy quote about Borderlands 4 going on sale, that's a little more nebulous in terms of being a pure contradiction. In June of this year, Pitchford commented on a Steam summer sale price of $3 for Borderlands 3, 95% off its original price. Here's what he said. Sales like this in Borderlands 3 showing up on console subscription programs took over 5 years from the game's launch, and to set expectations, it will be even longer before this kind of thing happens in the next cycle with Borderlands 4. I'm actually one to give him the benefit of the doubt on this one. Sales like this references something insane like a 95% off spot, and of course the Access media is going to say, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, and this is definitely what he meant, because of course they need to keep their access in this industry. If Paul Tassies of this world no longer get review codes and they don't get it.
Look, and I'm all for clarifying if you think someone said a certain thing, or if you think they meant a certain thing. But he was very clear. He was very cocky about it. This is what he meant. And I lobbyists and people like this are pretty much the most genuinely dishonest people you can ever really come across.
exclusive interviews and extra content to share with their audiences early, they lose any sort of notoriety they have in this industry, any sort of authority that they have in this industry. But they're not talking about the fact that gamers are extremely upset over the fact that it's already on sale, even though Randy Pitchford seemingly had promised that this wasn't going to happen anytime soon. Ain't no way Borderlands 4 is already on sale. Borderlands 4, $55 on Xbox Live. Wait, Randy said no discounts anytime soon. Randy's not gonna like this. What a slap in the face to customers. Game failed already. It dropped in.
And that's one thing that does suck. What about the poor bastards who bought this game for full price, who bought this game for a full 70, only for it to drop $15 within a month? Oh, that's a very, very angry 2.5 million people.
In price. Borderlands 4 already on 20% off sale a month after release. I've seen this somewhere else before. He said that it wouldn't go on sale for a long time, though. How is Borderlands 4 on sale 1 month after I just paid $70 for that shit? Stupid a-holes, never again.
Never
Do my
again.
eyes deceive me, or
Never
is this
again.
already on sale? Borderlands 4 already
Wow.
under 60. Who would have guessed it? It's happening. The
deluxe
premium
editions-
game for
edition.
premium
The
gamers.
deluxe
Borderlands
edition.
4 is
Edition,
on
my
sale a
gosh.
month after release. I feel bad
only
for all the
$80.
people working on the game that had their butthead of a boss having to turn off a lot of people from the game. Plus, the terrible performance probably doesn't help. So I'm curious to see if Randy makes any statements on this, if he tries to stay silent and play dumb and say, I never meant it that way.
He does need to
course
stay
you
silent.
guys misinterpreted what I said and misunderstood what I said, because he does seem to do that quite a lot, though. As of right now, Borderlands 4 has lost a lot of players.
Oh, Paul
It seemingly
Tassi,
has
that
not sold
explains.
even as well as 3 at this point, and it is on sale a month after launch. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this important and informative, make sure to give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike.
I'm just saying.
Thank you, Miss Vera. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Make sure you follow Vera Dark if you like anything that she has to say. She has very base takes when it comes to what she does actually cover. Now moving on. So apparently, remember how about a week or so ago, someone who was running for office on a Democrat ticket, some text messages leaked of them saying that they want people to die, of them saying that they were very serious, and the person even clarified, are you joking? And he said, you've known me for a long time, of course I'm not joking. And albeit I've said some stuff that, like, I've said, of course I want him to die, but you don't actually, but they're still alive. It's been like 20 years. People say things all the time, but when you're running currently for political office, it's not great to say that you want everyone who doesn't vote for you to die. Yes, different standards for different folks. It all depends on what you're trying to do. If you're trying to represent the people, killing half of them that doesn't really fly for that. But that being said, apparently a bunch of college-age young Republicans had some of their private chat threads leak. I'm assuming one of the people inside the group changed their political position, or was just, spying, or did it for clout, or whatever. And yes, a lot of the stuff in this is fucked up, as you can see on screen right here. But teenage guys are pretty fucked up in general. Teenage people in general, or early 20s even, are pretty fucked up in general. I've known guys and girls of all political affiliations, because I am not a conservative. I have conservative friends. I am not a hard leftist anymore, but I used to be. And I remember how fucked up the jokes were. And for these people to clutch their little pearls and act like they've never said anything to this effect is completely disingenuous. I'm sure that you could look through any of their text messages and find something horrendous that would ruin their careers for all eternity, that will ruin their legacies for all of eternity. These are facts. But let's see what Mr. Crowder's take is on it. I've seen Tim Pool's take. I let this play earlier, but I'm not going to lie. I wasn't really paying attention. I was working on something. But let's see. I caught a few things here and there.
Leaked messages expose young Republicans' racist chat. Thousands of private messages reveal young GOP leaders. A private group chat that was leaked that it showed us that sometimes young men, I don't know if there are women in this group chat, but young individuals might joke around, and it might not be appropriate for mass consumption. And I will tell you, my main bone to pick is with the board, and that's all they put behind their statement. The board of young Republicans who condemned this and apologized and said it's not up to the standards. You're right.
Stupid.
It should be funnier. But the media is having a field day with something that absolutely shouldn't matter.
We are getting a window into how a new generation of Republican activists talk when they think no one's listening, and it's really ugly.
The outlet.
This lady right here especially, I don't know anything about that last guy, but I've seen this lady a lot. The stuff that she says on the air is pretty bad. So I can only imagine what she says when she's not being recorded.
Reports that at least one texter lost their job for this, and another had their job offer rescinded, and at least two of them apologized. High-profile state Republicans.
Which, if they are running for political office, I completely agree with that. I completely agree with it because it's only fair. I don't think that whoever leaked these texts should feel good about themselves because they've betrayed people who thought they were friends for clout, probably. But at the same time, everyone has little secret messages. Everyone has everyone has fucked up conversations that if their bosses heard, they would look at them a certain way. Hell, I've dated people who are playful banter would get us very serious looks and maybe even ostracized from family. But who cares?
Republicans like Republican Representative Lee Stefanik have condemned the messages, and the young Republicans called the chains vile, disgraceful, and inexcusable.
Whether you're a Republican, a Democrat, an independent, whatever, this is unacceptable. Period.
I
End
accept
of conversation. What should happen
Who's
today is the president himself should say this is unacceptable. He should not repeat.
Mind you, no one's had any of this kind of outrage when it came to the person who said that the person he's running against should die. He wants to kill him and his whole family, his kids too, because they're little fascists. None of CNN, none of these people had any of this kind of outrage. That's the main thing. All the rest of it, yeah, sure, whatever. Throw the book at, well, not the book, but, you know, ostracize them if they lose a job opportunity, especially if it's in the political field. Sure. Okay, whatever. Have that same energy for your own people, for the Democrats. Now, they haven't said anything, and I hope Mr. Crowder here brings it up. But the fact that not only have they not denounced that person who I think I brought up on a show a few days ago, but they're letting him continue to run. And if he loses, which it looks like he will because his poll numbers have plummeted, they'll probably say, oh, we were going to let the voters decide. Fuck off.
There were good people on both sides. Because there's nothing.
That has been repeatedly debunked. Anyone who listens to, I think it's just 30 seconds on either side of that, hears him say, and I'm not talking about the white supremacists and the neo-Nazis who I condemn completely. He was talking about the people talking about taking down the statues. Remember that debate? That's what he was talking about. I'm so sick of this. And Biden ran on this, and there were enough retarded people in the country who believed it.
Good about what was said.
So, guys, I want you to remember this. Some private group texts where they made jokes about Indians smell.
For the love of God, stop making me agree with conservatives. This is not... This shouldn't even be an issue. But oh, my God, it keeps happening. I'm not one of them. But my God, you're making them seem like the reasonable sorts. And Crowder, he's a comedian. He's a funny guy. I mean, I haven't seen his actual stand-up, but he's pretty funny. Because I can laugh at things that are funny. Left or right, I don't care. As long as you're funny, I'm here for it.
Funny. Oh, where'd they get that? They want their. This is what they did, by the way, with Proud Boys. And I will say, this is what they did with January 6th. If they repeat it enough, you go, oh my gosh, that's right, January 6th. Oh my gosh, this is a white supremacist symbol. Oh my gosh, the Proud Boys. Right now, saying the president can't say very fine people on both sides. They'll never tell you, by the way, that he condemned neo-Nazis and actual white supremacists. They're kind of folding it into their.
Look, I'll hate on Trump for anything. I still don't think Pam Bondi's a good choice, or anyone that works for her specifically. She has botched. She's made all of the big botches have been Pam Bondi. From the Epstein files to shit. Oh, the hate speech little thing on the interview like a week or two ago. She has not been a good choice. But he stands by her because I guess loyalty or something, but
Previous lie trying to make you believe that kids joking around in a private group text are also white supremacists who should be condemned. Who, by the way, Donald Trump did condemn. I know it's really hard to follow. It's time for media malpractice. All right, this comes from Politico, and I'm going to try and read all this with a straight face.
And that's one reason I respect Crowder. He put that awful, was it Ingram? Ingrate? Whatever, Ingram from Fox News on there too. Because she's awful.
It's just so funny to me. They have to take this seriously.
I know.
This is the article, okay, titled, I Love Hitler.
I love you too.
Oh my God.
I love Hitler.
For those of you who are just listening, one of the guys on the panel is dressed as Hitler. I guess it's a bit for something that they're doing. This is part of a longer show. I don't know. I didn't watch it, but
Hitler. Leaked messages expose young.
sorry.
I love Hitler.
I love you too.
Okay, that's even funny.
I love Hitler. Leaked messages expose young Republicans' racist chat. Thousands of private messages reveal young GOP leaders joking about gas chambers, slavery, and rape. Nothing about that offends me at first glance. Just to
And even if it does, show me the text from before and after. Is it said in sarcasm? Sarcasm's really hard to read in text, but given the context of the text before, you can see if anything led up to this being maybe a sarcastic text. Like, oh man, something, something shower, something, something. Oh great, oh I love Hitler.
be clear, nothing, because you said the word joking.
Yeah.
So let me tell you, let me give you an idea as to what's in the article. After 7 months worth of private messages from young Republican groups in cities, it includes Kansas, Arizona, New York, Vermont. 7 months worth, they found some stuff that they thought was offensive when people were communicating privately. Let me preface this with 3 bad actors, 3 villains in this story. Okay, first the snitch,
100%.
the media,
Yes.
and then definitely the capitulating young Republican leadership. It's kind of like when Pam Bondi said, well, hate speech has no place. You realize she's not a conservative like you? You're like, oh, she's never thought of these things. For young Republican leadership to come out and say, I cannot believe this, and condemn it, it means you didn't get the memo.
Yep.
That's not what we do in 2025. You should be in 0 position of leadership. I would feel better if someone in a position of leadership had made rape and Hitler jokes. I literally would feel better about it. That's not hyperbole. I'm more uncomfortable with someone virtue signaling to the left. Let me read to you from Politico some of the epithets included. Mixed into formal conversations about whipping votes, social media strategy, and logistics, the members of the chat slung around an array of slurs, which Politico is republishing to show how they spoke. Epithets like, and they dash it out, they don't dash out retarded for some reason. And
Hey, we got it back.
N-GA. Don't make me say it. Don't make. They said it. They said it. I don't want to repeat it. I don't even want to type repeat it. These.
And I love how they just put those 3 words in there, and they say that they said all of them cumulatively 251 times. So they could have said the 2 worst ones maybe once or twice, and the rest of them were all retarded. Simply stunning. So that one could have been 247 times, and the other two were maybe 1 or 2 each. Still too much, but again, you don't know if these are white people, black people, whatever. You just know that it's a group of Republicans.
Words appeared more than 251 times combined. That's not enough. In one instance,
Rookie numbers.
pump them up. In one instance, Walker, who at the time was a staffer for redacted, talked about how a mutual friend of some in the chat, quote, dated this very obese Indian woman for a period of time. And then Peter Gunta responded that the woman was, quote, not Indian. She just didn't bathe often.
Peter Gunta, that sounds like a...
It's a good joke.
Yeah, okay, so it's a joke. All right, it's a joke, but hold on a second. What if they made this statement that, yeah, you know, Indians in general are less sanitary than the standards we uphold here in the West? Where could that come from? I'm just asking, where?
All right. I'm going to look up Peter Gunta because he sounds... That actually sounds like it might be an Indian name. Peter Gunta. Former president of New York State Young Republicans, staunch supporter. That's what he looks like. He kind of looks like a chubby Ralph Macchio. Let's say nationality. Yeah, no shit, he's American. Fucking Google. Anyway.
Where could the idea that Indians, as a whole, not all, might be less sanitary or more smelly than people here in the Western world come from?
I know where it came from. Uber.
Why do we bring that in the kitchen?
Go fast.
I thought that needed to be in the center of the house.
First we do it here, then. Okay.
I just don't understand why there's cow manure in the kitchen, to be honest.
No.
Cow is considered God.
Yeah.
Why?
But it's
Because
poop on the kitchen table.
it has some antimicrobial
Rosie
properties.
O'Donnell is a god.
So this is why it is used to purify the things.
That's the correct response.
I mean, yeah.
That's the correct response, unless you're a scientist, in which the correct response would be human feces contains over 100 viruses, bacteria, and parasites like Hep A, rotaviruses, adenoviruses, and E. coli potential infection. So the correct response is what the, unless you're a scientist and you go, did that guy just say cow shit has antimicrobial properties? It's the opposite of that.
And also, the cow is God.
Why?
Okay, so that's fine. So the excrement of God is to be
I don't know
worshipped.
about God, but definitely.
It's literally called waste.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Think about this for a second. Like, take that, okay? Add cannibalism, and that's what you have in the Americas. If Western white Europeans didn't come here and say, we're not doing that anymore, they'd still be burning cow shit. Look, they can do it. Fine. I don't respect it. I'm just telling you that. I don't respect it. I don't tolerate it. I said, no, that's an inferior culture. We can now confirm that that cow is not a living deity and that it does not have antimicrobial properties. It has pro-microbial properties. By the way, I need to...
Which I completely agree. This is why America's a melting pot, and we can learn from each other. Everyone, every single person can learn something from somebody else.
Correct. It was actually it was Samuel Douglas in the text group who said she just didn't bathe often. It was
Right.
yeah. So you guys can admonish me later. Okay, I get it. And then they go on,
Go down to the ship, Captain.
just like before, when they try to say, and this, just like the president should not say very fine people. Okay, so we've done the comparison to white supremacists, even though he already condemned them. They build lie on top of lie.
The creator of Dead or Alive and Ninja Gaiden 2004 has passed away. Oh, right before he died, he said, "I'm just so sorry to all my fans that I can't deliver my new work." Because I think he was in the middle of a new Ninja Gaiden game, I want to say. But right here. He said, "Words to leave. The light of my soul is about to run out. The fact that this sentence has been posted means it's finally time. I'm no longer in this world. The last post is for someone special to me. My life has been a series of battles. We stayed winning. I've caused a lot of trouble. I stand by my beliefs, and I owe it. No regrets. I just feel sorry to say to all my fans that I can't deliver my new work. Sorry. It is what it is. So it goes. Bonabu Itagi." That's sad, man. But to the fucker from Gearbox, that's how you talk to your fans. I know he was dying, but that's the love that this man had for his fans. His last thoughts were of his family and his fans, all the people that he touched their lives in some way, even through a video game, because it was an awesome couple of video games. Oh, man. That's tragic. Anyway, sorry, continue.
In this instance, they now compare this, because we've all established these people are Hitler, very similar to Charlie Kirk in the Politico article. It says, if your they wrote, meaning they're reading these texts. So in the text said, if your pilot is a she and she looks 10 shades darker than someone from Sicily, just end it there. Scream the no-no word, Gunter wrote. And then this is the editorializing from Politico. Gunter's line on a darker-skinned pilot, for example, echoes one used by slain conservative activist Charlie Kirk last year when he said, "If I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified." Kirk was discussing how diversity hiring invites unwholesome thinking.
That is
They just
not
could
what
not
Kirk
be
said.
saying.
That might
That's
be
not
what
what
this
he was saying. He was
retard said.
He was
but that is
saying
not
what we all
Charlie Kirk
know.
was saying.
If DEI makes you unsure of the qualifications for the hire, and you know that, or DEI wouldn't exist.
And the reason for that is how fast and how rushed they were with these things. Yes, hiring diverse employees is, yes, it is good. There is no bad about it unless you rush it. You should hire the best and the brightest. And if certain communities are falling behind, then the government can initiate, especially in those cities, they can initiate some kind of drive to get those communities more interested in certain fields. These things take time, though. And yes, a lot of it has to do with the cooperation, which will never happen between conservatives and Democrats. But if we actually talk to each other, we could arrange these things and actually solve fucking problems. Because there's been a battle going on for a long time, and it's only gotten worse. The divide between us, mostly led by overprivileged white liberals, is letting those that they claim to protect fall to the wayside. They're trying to install people who haven't earned their stripes yet into jobs that they really shouldn't have, like airline pilot, anything that has to do with taking other people's lives into your hands. Now, if someone has higher test scores or ties, and they're of the minority community, of course, 100%, put them in that spot. But do not take someone with lower test scores especially, or lower qualifications, over someone with higher qualifications. I don't care what race they are. I don't care if I go to a hospital and I don't see a white person working. I do not care. as long as I come out alive and I don't see people burning shit or any, stereotypical stuff from like a voodoo doll or anything crazy on the walls. That's all I care about. How efficiently they can do the job, and will people be hurt or die because we've rushed something that needs to happen, yes. But we've rushed it. Wise man say, only fools rush in. I'm not going to say the rest of the song because it has nothing to do with what I'm talking about, but but these are facts. And Charlie Kirk was pointing that out. Not only does it make people look at people hired because of these reasons in an unflattering way, but for the people hired due to these practices, it fills them with uncertainty. And if you're uncertain as to whether or not you deserve where you are, you'll start to second guess and doubt yourself in ways that you wouldn't otherwise. And that can cause mistakes, which can also lead to negative consequences, heavy negative consequences in positions where people's lives are at stake. And that's what I'm talking about. And that's what Charlie Kirk was talking about, because he specified several times. Because unlike a lot of these people who were saying that he was a horrible, hate-mongering person, I didn't know a lot about him. So I did research. And I've had people send me good clips, and I've had people send me bad clips. And the bad ones, I went and got context. And I did the same for the good ones, too, because you never know when someone's putting someone in a positive light, when in reality, they're being a twat waffle. Let's continue.
Before that, we had qualifications. Then we added one, DEI. And people go, well, what happened to the resume? Well, yeah, you still take the resume into account. You just take DEI into account more.
My pilot on the way up here, I'm not kidding you, I was taking off Savannah, he comes on the speaker. We're going to have a smooth ride. I got my co-captain with me. I was looking for a black elbow. I was looking through the door.
Is that like a different version of English?
Yeah, it's
called plane go down, boom.
Oh, we have that in Germany too.
Did he then say, let me ask you a question. What's the difference between miles and knots?
Except for the guy with the glasses
It's
we haven't
good.
seen yet.
Hey, put a D on it. It's not a T. This fucking shit leaks into, excuse my language.
You know what? No one would have thought of this.
Meet the press.
Not for DEI and affirmative action. You'd go, oh, okay, pilot. It would just be like another pilot. And I know, so when you had to do it because everyone was racist. No, it's pretty clear to us now that you, the left, are trying to keep this alive because no one believes that jokes make someone racist. We just don't buy it anymore. They also wrote at Politico that these people were Hitler lovers. Jeez. In another exchange, Dwyer, the Kansas chair, informs Gunter that one of Michigan's young Republicans promised him the group, quote, will vote for the most right-wing person to lead the national organization. Great, I love Hitler, Gunter responded. Jeez. Please, I'm just the messenger. Then Dwyer reacted with a smiley face.
How desperate are they to be pulling this rot?
Even if there was an actual Hitler supporter in the chat, and it wasn't clearly said tongue-in-cheek, it wouldn't matter. It would be impossible to tell because according to the left, everyone, including yours truly, everyone in this room, and Charlie Kirk, are in fact already Nazis.
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic.
Republicans who have given in fully to the fascist elements of their base are gaming to take the House, the Senate, and as many states as they can in order to nuke democracy.
Do you think Donald Trump is a fascist?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
The words
Speaking
that Donald...
of nuking democracy, remember how the whole thing that got Kamala Harris to be the running candidate in the first place, where Biden won the nomination and then said, never mind. And then they just gave it to her. That's not how that works.
Trump used today, enemy from within.
Mm-hmm.
That's Hitler-esque.
The only way it would have worked, and I would have given this to them, is if he bowed out and made her the president. If he made her the 47th president. It would have been hilarious on two reasons. One, it would have made her the first female president. It was literally handed to her. And second, it would have made Trump and everyone making those 47th hats have to go with reprint immediately, which would have been hilarious on both fronts. Come on.
That is right out of Nazi Germany.
Are Republican members of Congress going not only to roll over to Donald Trump's will, but to roll over our democracy and allow him to take over
Who's the black
this
linebacker?
country as a fascist dictator?
Yes, Donald Trump is a textbook fascist.
For the first time in our nation's history, the Republican Party won that race and got the first fascist dictator who could possibly take office.
Donald Trump is also.
And I love how people are like, something I clipped the other day. Let me see if I can find it real quick. It was about Rosie O'Donnell saying how people were saying how brave she was. And all I could hear was that fucking Sir Robin song from Monty Python and the Holy Grail, where they're like, you know, bravely ran away, always, brand standing. When evil reared its ugly head, he bravely turned his tail and fled. Like, that's not bravery. Fleeing a country because you think that there's a fascist dictatorship, when you're rich, fleeing to save yourself and not taking anyone with you, that's cowardice. The word is cowardice. Can you say cowardice? I can. Hey, speaking of liars, remember when AOC went and cried at a fence for a photo op? She said she was at the alleged detention centers at the border, but she was actually looking at an empty parking lot and just lying.
Very old and
Take off your shirt.
a racist and a neo-Nazi.
They understand that we have a Timu Hitler in the White House right now.
Donald Trump is a fascist.
The man who said neo-Nazis in Charlottesville were fine people.
No, he didn't.
I'm glad he was able to pronounce neo-Nazi, though.
That's
He's making progress.
Yes, he is. Not bad for a.
Those in the left, do you get it? You've thrown around the word Hitler so much. It's
Guys, if he actually said this in the context, then 100%. I would bring it up all the time. Because I love throwing shit in people's face who are so sure that they're right. And all you have to do is the minimalist amount of research. But the scary thing is now with AI, people will watch the video and think it's all AI. And think it's all made up. But it's actually there. I watched it. I watched it live. Because I wanted to know what he had to say about the girl getting run over. It wasn't right. Now, had the girl been doing crazy shit that day? A little bit. But not to facilitate getting run over like the Dwight and Andy fight from the fucking Office, but a lot faster because it was a gas-powered car.
Lost all meaning.
And I don't see why everybody has such a problem with us. So many problems.
Yeah.
We're not all bad.
No.
We have other good qualities. Like, for instance, we're very punctual.
I think your phone. Yeah. Yeah.
It's going off.
Your phone's going off.
Is it?
Yeah. Sorry.
Oh, that Larry David is such a funny Juden.
All right, okay.
It's a gift. But there's other things.
Right.
You know, we're punctual. We have cool clothes.
That's true. Yeah.
We're well groomed.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And we even can sing very well.
Really?
Yes, we have a song that we like to sing. It goes, Old MacDonstein had a farm, E-I-E-I-O, and on that farm he hid some Jews.
Okay, yeah, that's all right.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't like that? You don't like that one?
No, I just don't know where it's going, so I want to cut it off right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, and I love when people make fun of Hitler. Like, oh, God. Jojo Rabbit, one of my favorite movies from the last, I want to say 5 years, but I really don't remember. I'll look it up, but I'm pretty sure from the last 5 years. I love that movie. One of the few movies I have bought on Amazon, so I can always watch it no matter if it's on streaming or not.
Is that fair?
Careful here.
And then, of course, what do? They tie it back to Trump, the man who praised neo-Nazis. By the way, this is the one thing you know about Donald Trump is that he's not racist because you have a very, very long track record, right? He was friends with Don King. You look at the circles he ran in with in boxing. Arsenio Hall won Celebrity Apprentice. So at Politico, though, they still try and tie it to him because neo-Nazis, actual Nazis, equal Donald Trump. Donald Trump equals Charlie Kirk and young Republicans. They wrote this. They wrote, Art Gibson, a professor at the University of Dayton who specializes in white racial extremism. I've already checked out.
Yeah.
I've already checked out, Politico.
How do you specialize in that? Do you just go around and talk with people who agree with you and you're like, oh, I talked to some experts?
Don't care. Surmise the young Republicans in the chat were influenced by Trump's language, which he said is often hyperbolic and emotionally charged. Yeah, that'll be the first president.
Oh my gosh.
That'd be the first president who is emotionally charged. Trump's persistent use of hostile, often inflammatory language that normalizes aggressive discourse in conservative circles can be incredibly influential on young operatives who are still trying to figure out what is that political discourse, Gibson said. No, young men, in this case it's mostly young men, like joking around. They bust your chops. That's what they do. You can go back and look at any. Was Richard Pryor influenced by Donald Trump? Robert Klein, George Carlin? Go back through look at any era of comedy. Look at any era of what we found funny. It always included smart assery. It's that the left tried to suppress the masculine trait of being flippant, of constantly throwing out verbal jabs with your friend, of one-upsmanship, which is kind of a rite of passage. They tried to say that that should be shameful while you transition your children, that you should feel guilty about that, and it's the 21st century. We know a better way. Only it didn't work. People now know that you've used it as a political weapon, and they don't care. So, of course, we should blame in this fiasco Politico, first off, right? These people, by the way, who were happy to post leaked group chats that were private, but they never mentioned the Nashville Manifesto, actual journalism. They never mentioned the Jay Varma COVID scandal. They never mentioned the Charlie Kirk bullet engravings. So it seems like they're very selective with what they think passes the threshold for journalistic integrity. Also, of course, the leaker should be at fault here. What we're hearing right now is that this was a Trump administration staffer and potentially a conservative activist, a guy named Gavin Wax. They're blaming him, allegedly, calling it, quote, a highly coordinated year-long character assassination led by Gavin Wax and the New York City Young Republican Club, an allusion to a once obscured internecine war that has now spilled into the open. These logs were sourced by way of extortion and provided to Politico by the very same people conspiring against me. Some people also said that Wax threatened to release the logs, to be clear. And you know who knows a little bit about extortion? Yeah. So you have people on your own side who do it if they think they can take your spot. So that leaker, that guy is a piece of crap. Politico, obviously, is a completely illegitimate outlet. But most important, I will say this. The people I have the biggest problem with is the Young Republicans Board of Directors. I believe this is the National Board of Directors responded on X. Bring this up.
There are a number of them that did, yes.
They wrote, we are appalled by the vile and inexcusable language. I'll say it's excusable. How about that? You guys comment below. America, are jokes between guys excusable? Is it a character indictment for a young man to say that Indians tend to bathe less? Can we say they poop in the streets? Millions of them? Is that okay? And then can you turn that into a joke? No, I'll say it's completely excusable. It is not vile. You may not like it, but to act like this matters in any capacity. Young Republicans, what are you doing? We'd love to reach out to you for statement, have you on the show, because I think you are what is wrong with the Republican Party, the conservative movement, and I think you need to go away. But I'll finish. I'll do you the courtesy of finishing this statement. Appalled by the vile and inexcusable language revealed in the Politico article published today, such behavior is disgraceful, unbecoming. It's becoming. That's my opinion. It's totally becoming, if I may.
Absolutely.
Of any Republican and stands in direct opposition to the values our movement represents. Let me ask you this. How do jokes between friends stand in direct opposition?
As I mentioned, I've never really liked Republicans.
Do you value not being funny? Do you value being a buzzkill at parties? Those involved must immediately resign from all positions within their state and local Young Republican organizations.
Fuck off, dude. Like, come on. I agree. The person who posted this, whoever's in charge of the board of directors here, or the board in general, everyone who voted in favor of this, can fuck right off. Right along with the person that leaked these for clout, or because life's not going according to plan, or for whatever reason someone would do this. Are the things they said good? No. But they were said when they were very young. These are not recent statements. These are leaked statements by one douchebag, and we all have that douchebag that we've hung out with in the past, who wasn't our friend, who was only there because we were too nice to tell him to fuck off. And it bit you in the ass too, didn't it? I know it did me. I've had a few of them.
I say the opposite of that. I say they should replace you. We must hope.
And I will say my inability to let go of toxic people because of self-esteem issues on my part is one of the reasons that I don't really have any friends. Because I've held on to people because they were good to me and I couldn't see what they were doing to other people and those around me until they have already driven off everybody else. It's happened a couple of times.
Hold ourselves to the highest standards of integrity, respect, and professionalism. Yeah, well, how about this? You go and you do that. We'll keep winning the country.
Yeah.
How about that?
I'd replace him with Paula Deen.
There you go. Yeah. Paula Deen and resurrect Dog the Bounty Hunter. Just make it an all-out assault on the senses.
Absolutely. I think they don't understand the game that's being played right now. This was a caricature joke of what the left views the right as being when they were referencing Hitler, and yet Politico runs with it as like, aha, see, we told you. And by the way, we don't know exactly who leaked these yet. That was an allegation made that it was wax.
That's what I said.
Allegedly. But if that comes out to be true, what are we doing, guys? You know, under what pressure could that possibly be something that you should do to release group chats? Like, we joke around about stuff all the time.
I'll take it a step further. Even if they weren't joking, I don't have a problem.
No, I know.
It depends. Because people are young and they do evolve. And college is usually the time for that. Or your first shitty job. But literally, what's wrong with joking? Everybody jokes. To some extent. And the only people that don't joke are usually disappeared up their own asshole. Or they just try to deflect on the fact that they do by talking about what you do. And we all know those people. Most of them flip from conservative to Republican within the last 10, 15 years.
I'm just saying.
Neither do I.
I'm just saying.
I don't.
In the context of what some
conservative
of
to
these,
liberal,
you know, these people running for attorney general have said.
Right. Yeah, exactly
Jay
right.
Joneses of the world.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I think some things should not be joked about.
Really? Like what should not be joked? Do you have any examples?
The Third Reich.
Okay.
The special books I like.
Right. Yeah.
My mustache.
Right. Okay. All right.
It's growing
it out.
That seems like you have a vested interest in that.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
Okay. All right. That's fine. What were you saying there, Gerald?
No, listen, I'm saying that I think a lot of these were jokes. I get even if they weren't. But you have to understand the context that some of these are said in, because it just shows you even more the dishonesty of Politico in reporting it the way they did.
It's a problem of feminism, guys.
Politico's
Let's call
dishonest.
it what it is, okay? Before the year, I don't know, 2008, people used to bitch about political correctness, sure. But this culture of walking around on landmines and then applying it retroactively as though someone was supposed to know in the 70s, 80s, or 90s.
This just in, Brittany Griner issues a shocking warning. If pushed into a corner, she will leave America for Russia and not represent the country anymore. I haven't had a chance to fact check this, but I've seen it a lot on several different sites. Do it. I think that would be hilarious. Please do. Run to the country that threw you into a gulag, and America had to let go of the person that the movie, was it Lord of War? I think it was Lord of War. It was going to be God of War, but, you know, trademark. But yeah, do that. America gave up the person the movie Lord of War was based off of. Pretty good movie, Nicolas Cage. For Brittany Griner.
It is a feminine viewpoint that you shouldn't hurt feelings. You gossip behind their back and ruin their social circle, right? Men have never been this way. Men almost immediately hurt the feelings of their best male friends. That's what we do. And you become desensitized. Your soul develops a callus, but in a good way, where you and your friends can joke with each other. That's how you know you're close. Some of the darkest, most inappropriate jokes I've ever heard in my life were in moments of sorrow and pain between my best friends, and they were jokes that would offend no one but themselves. Okay?
And I've probably told this story once before. So my grandma died about 5 years ago, and she is one of the most important people in my life ever. She's one of the few people, one of two people actually, who has always encouraged me to be myself, to not be ashamed of who I am as long as I'm not hurting anyone or myself. Who cares? And I wish I had listened to her sooner. Because for the formative years, like to an extent, I always, you know, it's one of those things. But when she died, she was laying there, and nobody can play this for my grandpa, please, nobody. But she was laying there, and I said to my cousin, I said, doesn't Grandma kind of look like Bill Nye from oh gosh, Love Actually, from Love Actually. He also played the old vampire from the Underworld franchise. But and the look on my cousin's face, I'll never forget, because we have the same fucked up sense of humor. And they said to me, "You better not say that to Grandpa." And I said, "I'm not a monster. I'm just fucked up." But if you can't joke about things, I mean, there are probably other ways to heal. But I got to say, I wouldn't be here if I couldn't joke about some of the most fucked up topics out there. So I'm just saying.
This is the byproduct of feminism. Men don't interact like women. It's okay to interact this way. No joke is off limits, and I'm never again going to act as though, well, I don't know if he really meant that. It's a non-issue. I won't go down that path. And yes, there's a lot of extortion and blackmail on our side of the aisle where people want to jockey for position, and then they'll play that. Well, that's too far. No, sorry, it's not too far. If you don't like it, ladies, shut up. Don't watch it. You don't need to start a march. And I will tell you this. We reached out to the young Republicans and the chair. Well,
for the love of God, stop doing this eyelash shit. It's one thing to do the little fake ones or whatever, especially if that's all you do as far as cosmetics goes. But now they have implants for these ridiculous, like 1930s cartoon butterfly lady shit. Stop. We've gone too far. I hope they use armpit hair. I really do. Because that's what it looks like. Just stop. Love yourself, for the love of God.
Chairperson, for comment, Hayden Paget. Starting to make sense. Buddha. If it's not, let me post this. Paget posted this video calling Republicans to acknowledge Black lives after George Floyd. On the board for young Republicans.
The past weeks have been hard for all of us. The murder of George Floyd tore open a vein of outrage that had only just begun to heal. Hundreds of thousands, even millions, have marched in protest demanding justice, an end to police brutality, and real evidence that Black Lives Matter. Faggot! Why do we keep seeing black men?
Comb your hair and shut
And
up.
by the way, I know what some of you are saying, like, well, hold on, Stephen. You made me think that the clip was going to be of a woman, Hayden Paget. Correct.
Bingo.
I'll prove it because Gerald goes, did you see this clip? Yes. No, maybe I played it too straight. He also has in his biography talking about he lives with his 2 rescue dogs. I was like, is there anything more virtue signaling? Oh, right. Rescue dogs. Just say you have dogs. Shut up.
Every dog is a rescue dog.
That's true.
They belong in hell.
Wow.
Bill Burr has a great bit about that.
You got a free dog, right?
Yeah, right. You pull out of a burning fire.
You go to a burning building with no regard for your own life. You get a free dog. Go down, throw a few bucks, get a free dog. Yeah, like this is.
We miss you, Bill.
This guy should be nowhere near any position of leadership. None. It's just like Pam Bondi. This is someone who likely has been groomed, and I don't mean that in the sense that I mean groomed for this position where it's, hey, polish and Botox and Zoom whitening and make sure you say all the right things. Yeah. We're past that era.
Yes, thank you.
We're past that era. The video would have been better off just some guy flipping up the phone going, I don't give a rat's ass. Click. I would respect it more.
Yeah, just pull it up and then put it down. Listen, we're done with that. That is the old conservative party.
Right.
We're not doing that anymore.
What were you going to say there, Nick?
I was going to say, I was done with it my third year in comedy.
Yeah.
Before it even started.
Well,
that's why I'm broke.
But I'm always amazed that these people are still around.
Even the head of the...
Okay, they're going off on tangents. I apologize. Like I said, I only watched the first few minutes of the clip. But yeah, they should really clip these a little better. I don't know if maybe they come back around to it over meow, but I'm running out of time. So, guys, all in all, women, for the love of God, love yourselves. But I think the whole world could heal, and a lot of that has to do with laughter. You have to be able to laugh at your situation, at who and or what you are. I don't care if that's your race, especially white people. Especially upper middle and upper class white people. If they had more laughter in their lives, then they wouldn't constantly be trying to find ways to victimize themselves. And it's stark, I have to say. Depression is a first world problem. And there are ways for all of us to deal with it, but please, if you need help, seek help. Sorry, I just thought of a Hitler joke because it's Sieg. Anyway, I'm sorry, seek help. I'm so sorry. See, even now, I'm finding things to laugh at because there's a portly man dressed as Hitler, and it's not even a good Hitler costume. And then Nick DiPaolo, who's just a grumpy old man, hilarious, and always has been since he was young. But find reasons to laugh, especially at yourself, at your own expense. Finding things to laugh at about other people is easy and fun, but finding things to laugh at about yourself will save your life. If you've never had any laughter in your life, I feel for you. Because I haven't had anything, but I've had laughter. And I'm doing okay. Not doing great by any means. I'm sure if I had all those other things, I'd be doing a lot better. But I don't know if I'd be the same person. And it would be nice if I developed any further skills to become a person who could have done anything with the skills that I do have. But I'm working on that, and that's all we can do. Work on yourselves. Learn to laugh. Don't take yourself seriously. And I saw on a comedy movie of all things, don't take life too seriously. You'll never get out alive. And I wish, again, I had taken that advice sooner. But it's not saying don't take the serious things in life seriously. Pay your bills. Go to work. Seek your passion, especially if you're young. I'm over 40, and I'm just now seeking some of the things that I should have sought 10 to even 20, 25 years ago. But I'm finding things. And, you know, it's been a lifelong journey. But here it is. Be patient, but don't sit around. Do your thing. Believe in yourself, but also know your shortcomings. And do your best to fix them or utilize them to your benefit. Get a group of friends you can be honest with and who will be honest with you. Make sure they're actually your friends. That's the hardest part. People are dishonest because they're afraid people won't like them. But if people just didn't give a shit, who knows? Maybe there'd be more heartbreak, maybe there'd be less. But if they'd come to the realization, like learning all the things you're supposed to know about life, don't kill, don't cheat, don't grape, don't do all the other things. Don't do drugs you have to shoot up or snort. Drink minimally. Maybe don't smoke. But anyway, I'm going off on a tangent and I really got to get ready. But thanks for stopping by. I very much appreciate every single one of you. Thanks for the likes and thanks for the concurrent views or the follow-up views that'll happen after I post this. But I appreciate every moment of it. This is a lot of fun, even though I don't have a lot of viewers. But I appreciate every single one of you that's here. Even if you are just trying to spam me with whatever Nesna is.